So what's your main grief with the Symmetra changes that are being proposed?
I guess I have a bunch of different ones. Like this is going to be what, the second time they've reworked Symmetra now.
Right.
And initially, the first one, I think a lot of those changes the first time were for the better. Even when they announced those changes, I was like, you know what, those make sense because I'm honestly in this game, I'm really more of a casual player than anything else, which is one of the reasons why I'm so opposed to these reworks.
Yes, these new changes for Symmetra 3.0 are definitely not friendly to a new player, I don't think.
No, and I will freely admit I am casual at this game. I am a filthy weeb casual.
And that's completely fine. Not everyone needs to be a pro player at this game.
No, and that's one of my main problems with this is that they're taking a game that is fun, it still is fun to play, but they're trying to make it much more heavily skill based. And by doing that, they're locking a lot of people out of being able to play it.
Yeah, Symmetra doesn't normally require a lot of tracking skill like other characters do, like Zarya or Soldier. But now her lock-on beam isn't going to lock on quite so easily, so
it doesn't lock on at all. It's like, yes, it does increasing damage the longer it's on a target, but you have to be on that target the whole time. One of the main complaints I've heard people say is that, oh, well, it's you're playing no aim, no brain Symetra, but it's kind of ridiculous because that point doesn't actually hold any water. Because in order for Symetra to damage somebody, they still have to be in a 45-degree cone in front of you. Like, I can fire over here, and I can't hit you. There is a point to it. Once you're locked on, I can kind of stretch it out. Like, I can aim pretty far away from you before it attaches.
being able to aim precisely was never part of Symetra's kit. It's a very new component to her kit.
I mean, that'd be like changing Mercy so that her ult is a rocket launcher. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that?
It's a different skill set.
That's pretty much what they've done, is they've taken Symmetra and turned her into another Zarya that can launch sentries.
And you're not that great with Zarya, her skill requirements.
No, I am terrible with Zarya. I wish I was good with Zarya, but let's be completely honest here. I'm trash with her. I cannot play Zarya. And it's because I can't stay on target. One of the other things that I guess I have a problem with is now they're reducing the amount of turrets she has from 6 to 3.
Yes, it's not going to be able to set up a pretty car wash anymore, but
No, I can't. I no longer can...
Setting up the car wash.
I can't do that anymore.
You can, but the car wash is just going to be a smaller car wash.
The car wash is going to be a very small car wash. It's like the one that a kid runs in his front yard, and maybe somebody stops by and gives him like $1 just out of pity.
Well, I think this change isn't that bad of an idea, because they're making the turrets stronger, so it'll take more effort to destroy them. Were you aware of that change?
I was not aware of that one, no.
A lot of times, right now, Symmetra's turrets are very easily destroyed, but they're everywhere, so Winston hard counters them. If there's a Symmetra, you just bring out a Winston, and then Winston just counters Symmetra, and Symmetra's pretty worthless.
And not to beat a dead horse, but you mentioning Winston brings up another point, is that when people say, oh, well, they're getting rid of the no-aim, no-brain Symmetra, my number one thing to that is, okay, well, Winston, you don't have to aim. You don't have to aim at all for Winston.
Careful, don't bring up Winston. They'll make him have a Zarya tracking gun, too.
You don't have to aim with him. You just hold down the trigger and you jump into a group of enemies and it just latches on to everybody.
You don't need to have a lot of tracking, but you need to know what the right time is to jump in and when to jump out and where your enemies are, what their cooldowns are. You need to keep track of that stuff, even if you don't have to aim.
Like, I agree with that about Winston, and it's like the same thing applies to Symetra. You can't just run in and just start attacking somebody as Symetra. I always like jokingly said the sneaky sim is the deadliest sim.
Oh, yes.
Because if you're sneaky as Symetra, you can just melt people and take away half their health before they realize you're even there. But you have to have good gameplay sense. You can't do like Winston does. You can't just jump in and start melting people. You have to like actually maneuver around the map and find like sneaky ways to get to people if you want to be like an attack sim.
Yes, you don't have the maneuverability and the mobility of a Winston.
I feel like people are just pissed off about the auto, or about not even the auto aim, about the fact that it locks on, and that's why they're nerfing her, and also because she wasn't picked enough in competitive play.
Well, before we move on, hold on. Let's go back because we got to finish our thought about the turrets. Yeah, they have 3 turrets now that are a lot more difficult to destroy, so I think it's going to require a lot more effort for people to destroy your turrets. So, knowing that now, are you okay with the change? They have fewer but stronger turrets?
I guess if you put it like that, that does kind of make sense. So I will concede that maybe the turret change is better now. I'll have to actually try it.
Yes, we won't know for sure how well these play out until we got our hands on her, but I agree. There are other components of her kit that maybe could have been changed differently or shouldn't have been changed at all.
Right. I will concede that maybe they might be better. I don't know.
How about her new ultimate? Because Symmetra 1.0 just had her teleporter, and now Symmetra 2.0 has the option of a teleporter or a shield generator. How do you feel about the shield generator?
I love the shield generator. I think it's great. I think shield generator is probably one of the better things in this game. And if you're playing Symetra well, where you put the shield generator isn't that much of a concern. I hear a lot of people are like, oh, well, the shield generator is pointless because I put it down and then it gets destroyed. Well, if you're playing Symetra well, then you don't really have to worry about that because you're going to get it back pretty quickly anyway. If Tracer pulse bombs my shield generator, so what? I'm going to get another one later. That means that we still have people that are actually fighting or like doing what they're supposed to be doing.
There's also the issue that the attackers have, where it's not fun for attackers to play against a Symetra that's already got a shield generator. In general, if you are able to take out a Symetra early, you've done well, but the longer a fight goes on, the more likely it is that she'll get her shield generator, and then it becomes really difficult to destroy the entire team.
That is, I suppose that's true.
There's a strategy a lot of people have been picking up on. It's where they pick Symetra, Torbjorn, and Brigitte, and they just dump armor and shields on the teammates and make every teammate a tank, because Symetra's shield generator gives 75 shields, and Torbjorn gives out 75 armor, and Brigitte gives out 100, 150 armor herself, so everyone just gets loaded down with health.
That just sounds ridiculous.
And the worst part is that the shields from Symetra's shield generator keep regenerating, so if somebody comes in and does 100 damage to a character, and then has to back off, they've really only done, let's say, 25 damage, because all those shields just come right back.
Yeah, I will concede that is true, and the problem for me is anything that I bring up about Symetra is I'm talking about it at a casual level. I'm not talking about it at a competitive level, because at a competitive level, the gameplay is so much faster and so much quicker paced that it's not something that I can do. So I don't really know how Symetra would. For me, I don't know how I would play Symetra at a competitive level.
Yeah, I suppose when you get down to it, there are a lot of different tiers of Overwatch, and high-level play is a lot different from low-level play.
Yeah.
No one plays Symetra or Bastion in high-level play, or Mei, but you see them all the time in silver ranks and gold ranks, bronze ranks. They're everywhere.
Nobody plays Mei at higher level?
She has been considered to be an F tier for a long time.
Really?
Yes. And
That's
I agree.
odd.
In gold, the level I play at and the level you play at, she's very strong and she can be very deadly in the right situations. But at higher levels, she is considered to be a niche character.
Huh. I didn't know that.
And that's just because Symetra is a character that's for the lower ranks right now, much like Mei is. Well, what do you think about her new ultimate ability, where she creates a giant wall that lasts, I think, 15 seconds and takes a bunch of damage to destroy?
It only lasts 15 seconds.
I think so.
So basically, now you've replaced Symetra's shield generator, which is stupid good, with a basic ability that Orisa has.
A basic ability? What are you talking about?
You've replaced Symetra's ult, which is very good, with the basic shield that Orisa has that she can throw out in front of her.
Oh, her big cone-shaped shield.
Yeah, you're replacing something that's very good with Donald Trump's big stupid wall that isn't going to keep Sombra out.
Yeah, I suppose Sombra could be a bit of a problem if her EMP is able to destroy that wall immediately.
Well, I meant because she's Mexican.
Okay.
There's your tiny bit of political commentary for today.
Thank you for that. I needed that in my life. So, based on what you've seen, you're probably not happy with that new ultimate.
I'm not happy with the new ult. I think it's completely pointless.
I'd have to play with it a little bit myself to figure out if it's good and maybe see how other people use it. It sounds like it could be good in the right circumstances, but I think it's a lot less interesting than the shield generator.
It's so boring. And I get it that, like, in terms of lore, Symettra is effectively an architect that designs hard light constructs. So it would kind of make sense for her to be able to do that. If you wanted to do something where it's like a hard light construct, make it where it's like Zenyatta's healing bubble, but it's just a shield. So it's like everybody within the bubble is fine.
That wouldn't be too bad.
But again, I'm not a game designer, so I'm sure there's like about 8 million holes that anybody could find in that.
Yeah, I suppose too. I thought maybe it might be more interesting to have Symetra herself be a shield generator. So instead of having to destroy a shield generator...
Oh, that's a really cool idea. I like that idea.
You have to target the Symetra.
Yeah. I actually really like that idea, where like now you're a shield generator.
But then again, I am also not a game designer, and I know they went through a lot of different iterations before they came up with the current Symetra that they're planning on releasing. They tried to experiment with her and make her a healer of sorts, but it didn't really work out like the way they wanted it to, so they didn't.
Oh yeah, go figure.
What is your ideal Symetra? Out of all the 3 Symmetras we've been privy to so far, what is your ideal Symetra?
This one, honestly. I like this one.
Are there any other elements you want to take from Symetra 1.0 or Symetra 3.0 for the best Symetra?
I guess if you were going to change anything on this Symetra, I would want to screw around with, and I'm going to get a chance to. I would screw around with her new sentries for a little bit, see how they work. I think those would be interesting. I do actually want to try those, but for the most part, it's just kind of like, I don't know. I like this Symetra as she is, and it's. I guess my main complaint with this whole thing is that they're trying to make a game that is fun and accessible to a lot of people super competitive, and I don't like playing competitive games. I don't do pro level Widowmaker. I don't play Zarya at the pro. I don't even know if I play Zarya at pro level.
You're not a Genji, you're not a Tracer. You play Symetra, you play Mercy, Reaper, and Mei. All heroes that don't require intense tracking or whip, snap, click on people's heads kind of skill.
I can't do that. So a character like Symetra that is kind of more of a casual level character, I really like, and I think is a lot of fun to play, and they just basically made her accessible only to higher level play.
If they gave Symetra back her auto-tracking primary fire, would that be enough for you, or would you also want to keep a variant of the shield generator?
I think if they gave her back her auto-tracking, that would help, or at least for me anyway, and I know that the amount of bitching that other people would do would be endless, but I think that would be helpful.
About her primary fire, not only does it not auto-lock on quite so easily, but it's also a lot longer, so you can hit enemies from further away, which I like because it means you'll be able to challenge Pharah a lot easier, and I'm always happy when other characters are able to more easily challenge Pharah, because she's a real pain.
That's good then if they made it longer distance, because that is one of the problems with Symetra is if you're not up close to somebody, you're not really going to do anything to them.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people in the high-level tiers have difficulty making Symetra work. It's because everyone knows to keep their distance away, and if you don't let her get close to you, then she's just completely worthless. So hopefully these changes aren't as bad as we think, and if they are, maybe some of these changes will be reverted. Maybe Symetra will get her auto-aim back. I don't know. I can't say for certain. Who knows what the future holds?
This reason right here is one of the reasons why I completely stopped playing League of Legends, because I enjoyed playing that game, and again, it was a game that I played pretty much at a casual level. I never played it seriously or anything, and they keep reworking characters for that game to a point that some of the characters are absolutely nothing like what they were when they first came out. It gets really frustrating when you play, there's a character that you really like playing, they change that character, and you're like, okay, well now I have to completely relearn how to play this character, so I'll just play somebody else that I'm okay with. But they've reworked that character now too.
Yeah, I don't think they've reworked any character as heavily as they have with Symetra 2.0 to Symetra 3.0, because they're changing a lot of stuff. Her primary fire, her secondary fire, her ultimate, they're giving her an E ability. It's just all different. It's almost like a brand new character, and the old Symetra is just gone.
Enemy teleporter located.
No, don't destroy my teleporter. I need to jump out of it. Yes, freedom! Oh, God, no. Well,
It's alright, I moved them.
oh, come on.